that political power and political office and leadership is about opportunity to eat.
Divergent views and a cross-pollination of ideas.
We discussed it thoroughly and agreed to disagree because we need to move forward.
Desert Radio is bold and believes in telling it like it is.
Don't state things as they are, because the actions and effects speak for themselves.
It is a place where all news matters. For the best of current affairs, latest news updates, and non-stop infotainment, tune in to Desert Radio, the bold voice. Desert Radio, the bold voice.
Glimpse into the brilliant minds behind successful business. Get inspired by their journeys, strategies, and visions for the future. This is Executive Profiles on Talking Business, your gateway to the business world. In the ever-changing landscape of business, staying informed is key to success. Dive into the fast-paced currents of the economy with Talking Business, your gateway to the business world.
Important contributor to the Namibian economy.
Stay on top of global market trends with Market Watch, uncover industry insights with Money Matters, and meet business leaders in Executive Profiles.
It provides for about a quarter of Namibia's revenue.
All this and more on Talking Business every Monday and Wednesday from 11 to 12 a.m. on Desert Radio. Take your place in the forefront of the business revolution. Tune in and level up your business game with Talking Business, your gateway to the business world.
Talking Business, indeed a very good afternoon if you are just joining us in Namibia. That is from the central parts of Namibia, 95.3, 105.6 if you're in the northern parts of the country, 103.3 if you are joining us from the coastal areas, and 107.2 if you are joining us from the northern eastern parts of the country. Desertradio.fm for those that are joining us from anywhere else in the world. You can also just stream us live on a DSTV audio bouquet channel 839 or Go TV channel 318. That is the audio bouquet. My name is yours truly, Tiri Masawi, today taking you on the very best of what we do in terms of making money make sense in business with the program Talking Business. We will be getting straight into our local news, then regional news, and of course today we will be talking everything to do with the repurchasing rate, better known as the repo rate. Well, the news is that it has been kept unchanged at 7.75%. I will give you more when we come back for this, when we do local news. So do stay tuned here on your favorite family channel. We're getting straight into it with a bit of a breaking news that the Bank of Namibia has kept the repo rate unchanged at 7.75%, meaning that this would be quite a relief for those that are servicing their mortgages, and at least they will continue doing so at the same rate. We do not expect commercial banks to increase the spread from tomorrow. So some bit of good news that's coming there from the central bank here in Windhoek. I'll be talking to my colleague, that's Chanel Lazarus, just to give us a bit more for the reasons that the bank kept the repo rate on this after a few moments. But still with a local news, First National Bank Namibia has announced the dual listing of the First Rand Exchange Traded Note program on the Namibian Stock Exchange. The listing makes it easier to invest in international giant companies like Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, and Microsoft. Helene Amadila, the spokesperson for the bank, says the program also offers protection against currency depreciation for the Namibian dollar. She further added that the potential investors should seek a competent financial advice before venturing into these instruments, assessing stability based on their unique financial positions. In other news, Namibia could generate about 13.9 billion in revenue from the wind turbine tower and blade production. A report by the global consultancy firm McKinsey and the company has noted the study, part of the green manufacturing strategy for Namibia, highlights the significant economic benefits of embracing local production. The report outlines that the local production of towers and blades has the potential to unlock an additional $700 million, which is approximately 13.9 billion in the country's gross domestic product by the year 2050. The breakdown includes a direct contribution of 30%, an indirect contribution of 41%, and an induced contribution of 29%. In addition to economic gains, the local production initiative is projected to create about 27,000 jobs by the year 2050. The distribution of employment opportunities is expected to be 26% direct, 38% indirect, and 36% induced. McKinsey recommends a minimum production scale of 0.5 GWOs per year for blade production and 80 to 210 towers annually to meet a near-term demand. Well, to conclude a rundown on our local news, the Bank of Namibia is already announced that they will keep the repo rate at 7.5%. Like I said, I will be giving you more on this story when we come back. But for the time being, we move to check what is happening in our regional and international news.
Informed with rundowns on international markets, finance, and trade. This is World Business Report, your ticket to the latest updates on the global economic stage.
Well, our business report will start off in Zimbabwe, where the Reuters news agency reports that country is working on measures to stabilize its local currency, including linking the exchange rate to hard assets such as gold and creating a currency board. Finance Minister Mutuli Ncube said earlier this week. The Zimbabwean dollar has fallen about 40% since start of the year, yet by increased foreign currency demand from civil servants being paid in December bonuses and a weaker commodity price denting inflows. Last week, President Emmerson Mnangagwa said that the authorities were looking to introduce a structured currency without explaining how that would work, and the central bank governor said that work was already ongoing. Moving on, Nedbank's capital expenditure project listing shows a dramatic decline in fixed investment activities in 2023 as persistent power outages, rising interest rates, and cost pressures weighed in on profitability and eroded business confidence. This resulted in total value of new projects announced during the year falling to 184.8 billion from 259.9 billion in 2022. This was according to a report produced by CNBC Africa. So that pretty much gets us closer to concluding our regional and international news. The last story coming again from CNBC Africa. Cape Town is making strides in its mission to mitigate up to 4 stages of load shedding by 2026. Launching its ambitious energy strategy this week, they said so. This means that with extra capacity from Stellenbosch pumped storage power station, residents will be protected from up to 6 stages of load shedding. Kadri Nisep, Executive Director of Energy for the City of Cape Town, told delegates at a recent solar power conference that one of the first steps in the strategy is the need to stabilize the grid. Nasip says that the city currently has 3 tenders out in the market place. Well, that simply concludes our regional and international news. When we come back, we will be talking to Shana just to get a quick rundown on the reasons from the Apex Bank on why they kept their repo rate on 7.75%. Do stay tuned here on Desert Radio with yours truly, Tiri Masawe.
By definition, the word globetrotting means the action of traveling widely around the world.
You're not traveling wide, that's your opinion. You are not taking section.
The Namibian listed out for me. The Namibian listed this morning.
Desert Radio is the home of robust debate.
Has this just been rhetoric over the years?
We have heard the same promises. We can bring it down to one thing, that the president is divorced from the reality faced by ordinary Namibians.
Brutal, honest, and cutthroat conversations.
All ministers that are currently benefiting from government vehicles, entertainment allowances, that's waste.
People think that political power and political office and leadership is about an opportunity to eat.
Divergent views and a cross-pollination of ideas.
We discussed it thoroughly and agree to disagree because we need to move forward.
Desert Radio is bold and believes in telling it like it is.
Don't state things as they are, because the actions and effects speak for themselves.
It is a place where all news matters. For the best of current affairs, latest news updates, and non-stop infotainment, tune in to Desert Radio, the bold voice.
Desert Radio, the bold voice.
The bold voice, indeed, if you are just joining us, a very warm welcome to you on our family favorite station on channel 95.3 FM for those in Windhoek and the surrounding areas. 105.6 from the northern part of the country, 103.3 if you are in the coastal areas, and 107.2 if you're in the northeastern part of the country. Like I said earlier, we are also having a very, very firm global footprint. You can simply join us on channel 839. That is if you're joining us from the DSTV audio bouquet. For those with GoTV, channel 318 on the GoTV audio bouquet. We also have a desertradio.fm if you are streaming us from your mobile phones. So we are talking everything business today, and the Bank of Namibia has kept the repurchasing rate at 7.75%. That's the repo rate, as it's popularly known. For those that are just joining us and are new to this topic, generally the repo rate is the rate at which the central bank lends money to commercial banks so they can do their activities. In most cases, if that does go up, you would expect the spread from commercial banks to go up as well, and creating a dent for those that will be servicing their mortgages or that want to get a new mortgages. But well, today it's been kept at 7.75%, and to talk more about this, I'm joined by my colleague, that is Shania Lazarus, live from the Bank of Namibia. Shania, good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining.
Good afternoon, Terry.
Always a pleasure to have you. I'm doing what you're supposed to be doing today, so a reversal was interesting indeed. Let's get right into it. Shania, 7.75%. What are the reasons coming from the central bank?
Well, I think it was actually very interesting. I mean, it was anticipated that the central bank will keep the repo rate unchanged at 7.75%. And they also, obviously, that means that the prime renting rate has also been kept at 11.5%. Now, there is, as the governor of the central bank gave as to why they decided to keep it unchanged. They looked at the global economy. They looked at, obviously, the domestic economy. And primarily, the decision was, of course, by looking at what is going on in South Africa's political economy, then Namibia is able to make a better decision as to how we should go about with this repo rate adjustments. The governor also further alluded to or spoke on the fact that our economy has been doing reasonably well, but also by reason of our peg to the South African rand, there are a lot of things factors that have to be considered before we can decide to either increase or decrease our repo rate. But currently there is a 350 base point difference between our repo rate and that of South Africa. So it could have chosen to increase the repo rate, but it decided to keep it at where it is right now, just to mitigate inflation and also just to keep inflation under control and under check.
Interesting views coming from Shania Lazarus, my colleague. They're talking to us live from the Bank of Namibia, where she was attending the monetary policy announcement. That's for the first quarter of this year, if I got that right, Shania?
Yes, that's for the first quarter.
Okay, if you're also just joining us from anywhere else in the world, it's channel 839 on DSTV audio bouquet, channel 318 on GoTV audio bouquet. We also have 95.3 FM for those in Windhoek and surrounding areas, 105.6 for those in the northern part of the country, 103.3 in the coastal part, 107.2 if you're in the northeastern part of the country, and of course at Desert Radio .fm if you're joining us from anywhere else in the world. The voice, of course, on air now is yours truly, Tiri Masawi, and I am in conversation with my partner, the voice that you're used to when it comes to the show, that is Shania Lazarus. Let's talk about the aspects of the economy performing reasonably well, like what you are saying, Shania, from what the Bank of Namibia is saying. What are the indicators that's showing that the economy is doing? What are they saying?
All right, so according to the Bank of Namibia, annual inflation actually went down to 5.9% from 6.1%. That's one of the indicators. And I think as of January, as of last month, inflation was at 5.4%, which is actually a good decline, and it is expected to go down to 4.8% over the coming months. However, one of the things that we also highlighted, which is also a big concern, especially for the Namibian economy, is the private sector credit extension uptake. There has been quite a significant decline over the past since I think we started with the monetary policy announcements, I think in 4 quarters, it has been declining, and it has actually gone down to, in December, it was at 1.9%. In October, it was at 1.8%. And though growth is expected in that sector, it has been quite a concern as to why people are not taking up credit as much as they're supposed to be taking up credit. It was also a question that was raised to the governor, just to find out what the central bank is also doing in that regard to encourage more private sector credit uptake. And this private sector credit uptake, we are saying people are not really taking out loans and from the banks to maybe finance things like cars, to finance things like homes. And so it was a question that was asked just to find out what the central bank is doing in that regard. However, obviously we do know that in as much as the central bank's role is to control inflation and try to sort of bring inflation down, the central bank is also not a commercial bank. And some of this lending rates, after the commercial bank obviously sets the prime lending rates, the commercial banks are still going to set their own rates as to how much within what the central bank obviously has given. And that has been one of the reasons why private sector credit has been quite low. Also, something that also was highlighted was just that Namibia's merchandise trade deficit actually came down to 30.3 billion, which is a 3.7% decrease from what was recorded previously. And yes, those are some of the things I believe that I don't want to really sound very economical right now, but those are some of the things that were just highlighted by the bank.
Well, interesting indeed, Shana. Maybe let's talk about some of the sectors of the economy that the bank maybe indicated are doing good and that ones that are doing bad. Which ones are doing better and which ones are doing bad?
Well, in terms of the ones that are doing better, they didn't really give us an update into the sectors that are not really doing well. But I believe that we can see the real estate in that sector, the housing sector is not performing very well. But in terms of those that are doing really good, those are our mineral resources that is doing very well. Uranium has picked up quite significantly. There has been a 24% increase in the uptake or in the exports of uranium. So that sector is doing quite well. Even in terms of our raw mineral resources, that sector has also been doing really good. So in terms of the sector that is doing good, we can say the mining sector with the mineral resources, that sector is booming.
Or the booming mining industry there. That's the voice of Shana Lazarus. If you do follow the show every Mondays and Wednesdays between 12 and 1, you do know that she is the one responsible for anchoring this show. But today she is speaking to us live from the Central Bank, where she was attending the monetary policy announcement for the first quarter of this year. The results there being that 7.75% remains the repo rate for the next quarter. That's the decision taken by the Central Bank, and for several other reasons. Well, just to conclude, Shana, I just thought, did they also maybe touch on the performance of the tourism sector? Are we out of the woods? And in terms of just economic growth, are there any projections? Are there any refocusing?
Not necessarily, but I also want just to state that as economists, we are always going to predict. It doesn't necessarily mean that, and forever we are going to predict economic growth. And they obviously did predict some level of economic growth that is going to take place. But in terms of what we currently have on ground, I mean, it is post-COVID, it is still post-COVID, and a lot of things are still recovering. And the governor just stated that we are still under our recovery stage, but we are picking up, and we are definitely going to see better numbers long run. Maybe not very in the near future, but long run we will be seeing better numbers than we are currently seeing.
Well, Shana, it's been a pleasure talking to you and getting an update to you. Certainly hope you have yourself a splendid day. We will talk more as we continue unpacking this one.
All right, thank you very much, Dave.
Good. That was the voice of Shana Lazarus there, joining us from the Central Bank, just giving us a rundown of the decision of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank, which has decided to keep the repo rate at 7.75%. Some sort of good news for those that are servicing their mortgages. They won't be seeing any increase, at least for the next 3 months, when the Central Bank will sit again to review the situation. All reasons coming there from Central Bank. Shana says that the Central Bank says, the economy has been performing performing reasonably well. So the bank decided to keep it on that trajectory. Inflation also going down to about 5.4%. So that's interesting indeed. So they've also maintained it at that level. Other reasons are being given is that, well, they also did this to maintain the stability between the South African and Namibian peg, that is a currency peg. Namibia being pegged at 1:1 with the South African, and that's the Namibia dollar is 1:1 with the South African rand. When we come back, we will be speaking to expert, that is Salomo Hay, just to give us what his views when it comes to this decision by the central bank. So do stay tuned here on your family favorite channel with yours truly.
Welcome to Money Matters, your reliable source for in-depth insights on key sectors of the economy. We delve into the strategies, challenges, and opportunities with industry experts.
Get all you need to know from the people in the know.
This is Money Matters on Talking Business.
By definition, the word globetrotting means the action of traveling widely around the world.
You just telling you why, that's your opinion. You are not taking facts.
The Namibian listed out for me. The Namibian listed this morning.
Desert Radio is the home of robust debate.
Has this just been rhetoric over the years?
We have heard the same promises. We can bring it down to one thing, that the president is divorced from the reality faced by ordinary Namibians.
Brutal, honesty, and cutthroat conversations.
All ministers that are currently benefiting from government vehicles, entertainment allowances, that's waste.
People think that political power and political office and leadership is about an opportunity to eat.
Divergent views and a cross-pollination of ideas.
We discussed it thoroughly and agree to disagree because we need to move forward.
Desert Radio is bold and believes in telling it like it is.
Don't state things as they are, because the actions and effects speak for themselves.
It is a place where all news matters. For the best of current affairs, latest news updates, and non-stop infotainment, tune in to Desert Radio, the bold voice.
Desert Radio, the bold voice. In the ever-changing landscape of business, staying informed is key to success. Dive into the fast-paced currents of the economy with Talking Business, your gateway to the business world.
Contributor to the Namibian economy.
Stay on top of global market trends with Market Watch. Uncover industry insights with Money Matters and meet business leaders in executive profiles.
It provides for about a quarter of Namibia's revenue.
All this and more on Talking Business every Monday and Wednesday from 11 to 12 a.m. on Desert Radio. Take your place in the forefront of the business revolution. Tune in and level up your business game with Talking Business, your gateway to the business world.
By definition, the word globetrotting means the action of traveling widely around the world.
You just telling you why, that's your opinion. You are not taking facts.
The Namibian listed out for me. The Namibian listed this morning.
Desert Radio is the home of robust debate.
Has this just been rhetoric over the years?
We have heard the same promises. We can bring it down to one thing, that the president is divorced from the reality faced by ordinary Namibians.
Brutal, honesty, and cutthroat conversations.
All ministers that are currently benefiting from government vehicles, entertainment allowances, that's waste.
People think that political power and political office and leadership is about an opportunity to eat.
Divergent views and a cross-pollination of ideas.
We discussed it thoroughly and agree to disagree because we need to move forward.
Desert Radio is bold and believes in telling it like it is.
Don't state things as they are, because the actions and effects speak for themselves.
It is a place where all news matters. For the best of current affairs, latest news updates, and non-stop infotainment, tune in to Desert Radio, the bold voice.
Desert Radio, the bold voice. Hey, do you want to hear something useful? Here's your day's business tip on Talking Business, your gateway to the business world. Market Watch is your compass to navigate local, regional, and global stock markets. Here's your rundown of the latest updates and trends. This is Market Watch on Talking Business, your gateway to the business world.
Talking business, your gateway to the business world. You are in the company of yours truly, Thierry Masawi. If you are just joining us from anywhere else in the world, a very warm welcome indeed to you wherever you are in the world. I hope you are listening very well on desertradio.fm, and also do feel free to tune in on 839 channel 839, that is on the DSTV audio bouquet, Go TV channel 318, and of course we have frequencies dotted around the country. For those in Windhoek and surrounding areas, it's 95.3. 105.6 for those in the northern part, 103.3 if you're in Swakopmund, and 107.2 if you're in the northern eastern part of the country. I was trying to get in touch with economist Salomo Hay to help us break down the decision of the Apex Bank to keep the repo rate at 7.75%, but it does seem like technology is failing us then. So we do move forward and look at our financial tip of the day. Today we will be looking at private sector credit extension. That's what we are talking about today. So if you are new to this, I think that tallies pretty much well with what just happened at the Bank of Namibia. You heard there, Shana saying that the private sector credit extension has been low. So that means there's been low appetite for data from those that want data, probably just to buy houses, buy cars, or finance all the other necessities that they need in life. So there hasn't been that much appetite to borrow money in Namibia. For obvious reasons, this happens because maybe the borrowing rates are rather high, or there's just not enough money circulating in the market. So let's break down what private sector credit extension is. This refers to the amount of credit or loans provided by the private financial institutions such as banks and other non-governmental lenders to private sector of the economy. This includes the loans granted to the business, households, and individuals for various purposes. Like I said earlier, some of the purposes include investments, consumption, or other financial needs. Monitoring private sector credit extension is important for assessing the health of the economy, as it reflects the level of borrowing and spending by non-governmental entities. The private sector credit extension has significant implications for the economy. Here are some of the implications that it has on point form. Point number one, economic growth. An increase in private sector credit extension often stimulates economic growth. Businesses use loans to invest in expansion, new projects, technology, and contributing to increase the productivity and overall economic activities. So the more people borrow, the more they are bound to spend on important things like buying cars, building houses, and of course businesses also do invest in growing their business, which means that there will be more employment creation created for those that are unemployed, and of course the economy gets competitive. Consumer spending also does seem to benefit immensely from this. So general household credit is a component of a private sector credit. When individuals have access to credit, it can boost consumer spending, supporting retail businesses and contributing to economic growth. Simple example being that the more money that people have in their pocket, the more likely they are going to spend in less and important activities. Or some could be shopping, some could be building houses, like I said, which create direct jobs to those that are in the construction industry. For example, you would have your plumbers, you would have your architects, you would have your builders. They are getting even more jobs. And of course, the consumer baskets are there. They seems to pretty much take most of the money. You would see more people going to buy groceries, household activity, household needs, because they do have the money in their hands that they can throw around and buy whatever they want. So the slower the credit sector extension, then the credit extended, then the less the expenditure, which simply means if people do not have money, they simply do not spend. I don't have to over explain that one, because we are coming from the longest month, the longest year in a year, that is a January. That's what they call it. And people were not so spending so much, were they? Because they didn't have money. So that's pretty much what I have for you on Talking Business. I am yours truly, Thierry Masawi. It's been quite a pleasure. That's my story, and I am sticking to it. Let's do this again next week, same time, same place. Stay tuned on your family favorite channel.
By definition, the word globetrotting means the action of traveling widely around the world.
You're not traveling wide, that's your opinion. You are not taking section.
The Namibian listed how many? The Namibian listed this morning.
Desert Radio is the home of robust debate.
Has this just been rhetoric over the years?
We have heard the same promises. We can bring it down to one thing, that the president is divorced from the reality faced by ordinary Namibians.
Brutal, honesty, and cutthroat conversations.
All ministers that are currently benefiting from government vehicles, entertainment allowances, that's waste.
People think that political power and political office and leadership is about an opportunity to eat.
Divergent views and a cross-pollination of ideas.
We discussed it thoroughly and agree to disagree because we need to move forward.
Desert Radio is bold and believes in telling it like it is.
Don't state things as they are, because the actions and effects speak for themselves.
It is a place where all news matters. For the best of current affairs, latest news updates, and non-stop infotainment, tune in to Desert Radio, the bold voice.
Desert Radio, the bold voice.